What's going on, everyone? Ben Duborg here, owner of Sculpt Fitness. This is a Sculpt Fitness podcast. I have Jason Vigue with the, he is of Coaching with Jason. And now we go back because I used to train you.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to train him via strength training, obviously.
How long ago was that? Like 5 years ago, maybe?
That was long, dude. Time has been flying so much that I've been. Have you ever told a story, and you're like, "Yeah, it was like 4 years ago," and somebody's like, "Dude, that was like 8 years ago." I'm so bad with that. Like time, I think that when you're when you're so focused on what you're doing on like the day to day, time just kind of goes by. But I do think it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly can say that you're a very different person than you were before, and I mean that like obviously a huge compliment. But I think seeing you, Jason, just kind of like in a different light, and I don't want to, I'm not like a foofy guy or anything like spiritual, but I would honestly say like a different vibe. Like you're putting out a really different vibe now, and I could see it. Like if I look at you, I'm like, okay. Before it was just kind of like dark and dreary. It was dark and dreary, man. But I mean, but let's hear that, because now being that you are an owner of your own company and having coaching with Jason, and that's a huge thing for you. But how did that come about? Like what motivated you to start your own business?
Well, it was never really the plan, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I was just into the psychology part for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I had that feeling something was missing. I'm always chasing something. And really what kicked it was an altercation with a buddy of mine.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. It's
Yeah.
huge, so powerful. I got you. Yeah.
So he was showing me a video one night at our band room, and I had no interest in it. But there was part of me that had no interest, and part of it was I couldn't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing the video, and I'm not paying attention and waiting to talk. And the video ended, and he snapped at me, called me every name in the book,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, basically told me, F off, and
Mm-hmm.
you're a jerk, and you're selfish, and basically called me out for not giving him 5 minutes of his time,
Mm-hmm.
my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I snapped back, told him where to go, and
Yeah.
stormed out of there with my...
Like buddies do.
Yeah.
Buddies do. Yeah.
I stormed out of there with my snare drum in one hand and my pedal in the other, got in my truck and floored off, and I'm driving home and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, he's right. My attention span sucks, but also I'm too selfish to even pay attention to him. And so it kind of hit me that a lot of this was my problem in life, was not being able to pay attention, and like how does that affect others too around me? So what am I getting in return? When I'm in a relationship or anything like that. So when I got home, I put my snare down and I picked up the phone and I called him, and I said, "You're right, and I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And
It's huge.
like you mentioned before, it could have been one of those instances where we never talked again.
Man.
Yeah.
And how often does that happen? It happens a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that you did something that's so rare, and I see it so much with friendships across the board, with just people that are just like, well, I don't talk to them anymore. Why? Because they did this thing to me. What did they do? And it's like, was it worth sabotaging your entire friendship? Was it worth that? And if it was it a friendship? So the thing is what you did, I think, is extremely rare nowadays with ghost mentality, the ghosting mentality, or just hey, I'm protecting my peace, whatever, I don't need him, the lack of self-awareness. And here you are calling your boy, being like, dude, you're right, I didn't see it, that it was valuable to you, and it was, and I messed up, and that's huge. And so how did that elevate you or interest you to kind of take up? What did you do after that?
Well, it started slow, and I just kind of made more effort to pay attention. But I was reading a lot of mindfulness books and this and that.
Which one was one of them?
Well, like A New Earth I read, and The Power of Now, and then I just kind of went into that direction. Really what got me in this direction with the coaching was a big part. And then when my father passed, I really got into a spell of just being lost, really. I mean,
yeah,
everything was going in the tank.
Yeah.
And it kind of lasted a while, a couple, months. It didn't hit me in the beginning because you're so busy.
Yeah.
And it's so new. But after a few months, everything was falling apart. Relationships at work, I was going on dates, everything's falling apart. And I hired a coach, and the goal was basically to be present. That was my goal. I want to be present. I went back to school, and I'm reading pages in the books, and I'm not remembering anything I just read, and the relationships are nothing sustainable at this rate, and I got a coach and worked on being present, being there. And then I just started to see things change, and there was some conflict at work with one person, and we worked on that a little bit and how I could change that dynamic. And over time, I just saw things changing. And then as I was becoming more present, doors were just opening, and then, I don't know, maybe a year later, I decided I'm going to take this course, never with the intention of being a coach. I was like, I'll just be a better listener.
But that's huge.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do was be a better listener. Like, how can I get more focus? Like, this is a goal of mine. Why do I feel so empty? And it's because I feel like no one's listening to me. So what can I do for others? I can listen. I can be there. Give them a place. So as I started coaching, going through the program, a lot of it is self-work, like work on yourself. You're just working. A lot of your assignments are just like, how did you feel here? How did you feel there? What did you do? How was your, reaction? And then when I started getting in deeper and deeper into the program, they started getting into the levels of energy. And then I really started to understand it even more.
With the levels of energy.
Yeah, that was like a game changer for me.
To find out the levels of energy.
Yeah, and to understand how your communication and your perception of situations really control your outcomes and your potential.
How many levels of energy are they in this coaching?
7.
7. Okay, yep. 7. Can you just briefly kind of go through what's like just 1 through 7?
So level 1 is like your victim mentality.
Okay.
Anxiety is level 1.
Okay.
I say level 1 is the me approach to life.
Okay.
The focus is on me. I lose. You get in an argument with someone, or there's a disagreement. You shut the door. You go to yourself. You pout on the couch. That's level 1.
Okay.
When you're level 2, the story I told about me and my buddy.
Yeah.
His reaction to me, F you, blah, blah, blah. I told him where to go. That's a level 2 reaction. It's the anger, resentment.
Okay.
That's level 2. You get to level 3, it's a mixed bag. Those two are like a catabolic energy.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're starting to get into the anabolic levels.
Mm-hmm.
You know about the catabolic, like the hormones that are going to be released in those catabolic. You're going to have a lot of cortisol.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cause you to be unhealthy and this and that. Level 3 is kind of a mixed bag. It's more of a complacent area. You'll kind of rationalize situations. If you were in an unhealthy relationship, so-and-so said that because of this, you'll make excuses.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good example of like a level 3.
Staying complacent.
Yeah. A level 4 perspective would be like someone who's really caring for others and puts their life ahead, puts other people's lives ahead of their own.
Okay.
So they'll, we talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Caregivers, things like that nature would fit there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a strong correlation between 4 and 1.
Okay.
Because it seems like they live a lot in 4, but then when things aren't going right, they go to 1.
They go to 1.
When the stress comes in, they're down here. 5 is what we're doing now. We're entrepreneurs. This is the land of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see everything as an opportunity. When things don't go right, what's the opportunity here? It's not, I feel bad about myself.
It's a lesson.
You get fired from your job. It's not like, oh, poor me, what am I going to do? It's, where do I go from here?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's that look. Level 6 is more of a synergy, working with others when you're in the state of flow. Mm-hmm. And then 7 is more godlike.
Okay.
Like, you
spiritual?
know, it could be. I mean, you know, if you're in a meditation and you're just kind of, nothing exists really, you're just in that space. That's the level 7. Okay. Now, it's important that even though there's all these levels, we're never one of them.
Okay.
We're a mixed bag of all of them. The interesting part about them was, like, what I find interesting is, you know, it's okay where you reside most of the time. You know, if you're a level 1 and level 2, you know, the plan is to get you up higher.
Yeah, yeah.
You can be a 4 or 5, that's fine. It's what happens when things don't go your way.
When shit hits the fan.
You know, so like the level 1, it's okay to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And what coaching does is it's the ability to choose. Once you understand these 7 levels, you can choose where you want to go, you know, instead of our default.
To go to level 1
like
again. It's like, people, back down, level 1. Hey, I'm spiteful, poor me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You sit on the couch for 2 days. You know, how beneficial is
fried.
that for you?
You're fried. Yeah.
How beneficial is that for you? Like, it's okay to go there if you want to.
Okay.
It's the difference between being able to choose.
And stay there, too, I guess. Yes. I guess the idea, too, and maybe, I don't know this, I mean, it's more of a question, but so the idea is, like, you can go to 1, just don't stay there, right? Or is it, no, you don't want to go there?
The way I look at it is it's okay to choose to go there.
Okay. But if you just go there.
If it's your default.
Okay. Got it.
And the cool thing about these levels of energy is once you up your game and you're staying at a 5 or, you know, you're mostly a 4 or 5 and in that ballpark, the people around you will become 4 and 5s.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've had so many situations where I just had a huge coaching session last week with a peer of mine. And she's a CFO up in Canada. I work with her every week. And she was having a really hard time at work. And they were going to sell the business. She's looking at retirement. She's all happy. And the CEO tanks the thing. She's the CFO. And she's all, you know, and now this person's going to get promoted. She's not getting it. And she went into work for like a month angry. Right, they're having meetings, and she's got this level 1, level 2 just kicking,
just like boiling.
Right? And then they go into these meetings, and it's just catabolic energy everywhere. Everybody's yelling at each other, this and that. We had this session last week about, we just kind of figured out what was your goal initially? What have you accomplished so far? You know, and it came out that she wanted this promotion. She had never said it.
Okay,
she was holding a little resentment, so she's in that level 2. There's that resentment, and she's taking it out on everybody else, and there was a couple aha moments in that session. I actually talked to her right before we came here today, and I'm like, how'd it go this week? And I could tell already she's perky, she's happy, and I was like, oh, really cool, you know. And I was like, what happened in your meetings this week? And she's like, you're not going to believe this. This happened, and like everybody's getting along. And she's like, this is the first time we didn't have an argument. By her shifting hers, everybody else is coming up, and this has been the theme through my coaching. I worked with a stay-at-home mom that was having problems at home, 2 kids, you know, and the first few months of us working together was all the negativity of the family, and me and my husband aren't getting along. But then it became, as she's working on herself and she's growing, the whole family's growing.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Literally growing and growing.
Yeah, literally growing.
Literally growing and growing, yeah.
And, you know, and just things were getting better. And it's just amazing how the energy feeds off each other.
Oh, yeah.
When you meet someone with that, they're in that 1 and 2, you know, it's going to bring the room down. So what's cool about it is being able to choose, you know, you understand your language, what you're sharing. What am I putting out there?
Okay, so my question, because this happens often, and it happens often with a lot of people that we work with here. So we have career types, we have high performance types, professionals. You know, we work with a lot of people like that. And we also work with some that are in the similar situation where they feel passed over in a promotion or they feel this. But then we also have the people that they come out of that. What they find is this normal, or maybe you could kind of put your spin on it. They start to realize that the crowd that they were running with before maybe no longer suits them, or that language, like the people that they hung around with before, they're just like, their language just seems different. Everything seems different. Is that normal? Is the thing like, oh, I've kind of leveled up in my career, my performance, what I can do, what I believe in myself. And then they go out with, people who are still, with that level 1, level 2 energy. That'll drag you down.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal, or do you find that normal in your practice?
Well, you have the option.
Yeah. That it brings you down.
Yeah, you can let it bring it down.
Okay.
You have the option to not let it bring you down. You have the option to leave in the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yes.
you can change your perspective on the relationship.
Okay. Oh, that's different. Yeah, the perspective on the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shift the way you look at it and your expectations of it.
Oh.
And a lot of times, like in a situation like that, a person's going to look at that. Well, I'm going out with so-and-so tonight, and they're
Okay.
over here, and I know it's going to bring me down. It's going to bring you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you just said it too.
Yeah.
And
I actually had some coaching on that where people were perceiving the situation before it happened. And I remember I had this neighbor that was, so negative and this and that, and I hated being around him and blah, blah. And then one night she asked me for dinner, and I'm dreading it, and I went to the dinner, and, it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
But you were preparing for it to be like, people change.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think that people don't change. I think people change. And the woman, I said to her, how do you know that she hasn't shifted yet? Before you go to this dinner tonight, it's been a little while since you talked to her. Maybe some things have changed. Maybe she's a little happier. And she did go, and it was different.
Yeah.
But a lot of what was different was this woman's perspective before she stepped in that room with the other person.
Yeah. A lot of the battles and conflicts, the largest ones that you're going to experience, are usually in your head. They're not actually in reality.
So coaching is thoughts equals emotions equals an action.
Yeah. Yeah. I oftentimes are around people are like, that wasn't that bad. Or, that was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I always like hearing stuff like that because, but then I always say like, hey, it's really how you approach it. I had a friend call me a couple days ago. She's trying to get this big promotion, and she didn't get it. She got really upset, similar to the situation so she ended up applying for jobs. But I said, you're in this mindset of you didn't get this promotion. Now you're going to go out and apply and be like, how are you going to apply? Are you going, I deserve, like, you're throwing at angry, pissed, or are you going, hey, I missed this opportunity. This opportunity, obviously, it wasn't for me. And I'm looking for an equal opportunity out there. Like, it's a real perspective thing. So she had text messaged me yesterday. It was like, I bombed this interview, man. I just bombed it. I was really upset. And I was like, listen, if you can, I don't think you did as bad as you think you did. I think it's your mindset because you were just like, I really wanted this. And what'd you say? 1 or 2 things probably that you're like, ooh, and it ends up being this thing that you're making such a big deal. And I'm looking forward to her calling me and be like, I got the job, which would vindicate awesome. My feelings, but it's not about, me. But so I think there's a lot of that too. And we do that a lot with people. Now, do you find that the people that you coach often uplift the people around them at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times, yes. Yes, I truly believe that when you up your game, the people around you come up too.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, man. It's so amazing to watch that. I heard that story at 11:30 this morning about the week, and I'm like, wow, like this is why I do this, because I saw it in her, and then I know that it's hitting that room of people I don't know, and I'm like,
that
how
feels
productive
good.
that is, and it's what a difference in the clients that are out there. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you're doing. This stuff is valuable.
See, that's another thing. It's like it applies to so many different things. And it's like I would tell a lot of our clientele that we get, or a lot of people that we see, I'm like, if you think that if you take care of your physical health, your financial health will benefit. And they go, what are you talking about? I said, just wait 6 months, train, the daily disciplines. You need, and I was talking about this morning as well, you need to voluntarily put yourself through suffering. Voluntarily suffering via, you went for the walk you didn't want to go on. You went for a run, you went to the gym, you did paperwork, you filled out office work, you paid that bill, you didn't let it sit and fester in your office. You hit it head on. And what I've found is that voluntarily suffering, which is uncomfortable, will help you say no to the things you should say no to. You're going to go, you know what, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to benefit me. You're going to have more of a self-awareness, more of a discipline to you. So what I've found is working with a lot of clients in a physical sense, it always helps them up their game. It always helps them up their financials, or helps them with the raise, or helps them with confidence. So like with your talking about something in here though, and I love that because I think it's such a piece that's missing in our industry. It's like we always talk about the body. Mm-hmm. Now what I like is talking about the mind and the body and getting it connected. So in that way, you really can be the most confident individual and the best version of yourself to push yourself forward. Yeah. Do you find that, because you're big into fitness too, like that obviously you train with me, but now, you're going to the gym every day, you're making sure that you're taking better care of your health. And then if I'm not mistaken, you're in a better place relationship wise. Yep. And you got a little bambino on the way, which is good. I just had my son, and it's awesome. It's the best. And then I'm having a boy. You're having a boy too. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Sick. Sorry, it is big. Oh, he's big. Yeah, mine was small. He was tiny. And now he's getting long. He's just longer every week. It's insane. Like holding him, you're like, oh my God, he's like all the way out here.
This is scary big. This could be problematic.
Oh yeah. You're a big. You're a big guy too, though, so it makes sense. So, but like I said, man, and I wasn't trying to like pump you up here. Obviously a little bit we're trying to pump you up, but I'm not like,
I got it.
You definitely have a different aura. I know this sounds weird, and you're like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm a wild person. I know. You even have like a different like color, like glow to you. Like you're practically like your skin looks different. Your everything just looks different. It's like the attitude, the everything, and I think that you doing that, man, obviously it speaks volume, and then it speaks volume to your clientele, too.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. So you should be definitely proud of yourself on that, man. That's huge. That's so massive. So the question is, where do you go from here? Like, with your business, how is it that you feel like you can contribute? What is your goal for your clientele and your business?
My goal for my clients?
Yeah.
My goal for my clients is giving them a place to speak where they'll be heard.
Mm.
They pick the direction we go in. My job is to ask them the questions to get that intrinsic motivation that we talked about earlier. Like, I don't tell them what to do. This is about, you want this goal. How do we get there? What's blocking you from getting there? And this is what you'll get in return.
Because you and I talked about that briefly, and it was a good point you brought up. It wasn't, your goal is to get them to solve it the way they would solve it, like the way that they could solve it, not like this is what I would do.
No, there's none of that. And that's the important part, because if I'm telling you what to do, right? Who am I to tell you what to do? Really? Mm-hmm. But also the motivation is going to come from within. When you bring that line of questioning to them in a way that they haven't thought about things.
Okay.
It's something click. You'll see it in the client when I'm on these Zoom calls with them, or I use Google Meets.
Okay.
We'll be on these calls and I'll see the shift. I'm really upset about this or whatever's going on. And then it's like, well, then you just ask a line of questioning, whatever it is, until you hit that spot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you throw a dart and you miss. Mm-hmm. It's like rebound quick.
Yeah.
Keep them engaged. Hit them with the next one, and then it's like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? You get that moment, and then it's like, I never thought about it that way. And a lot of times you'll get off the call, 50-50. Sometimes they have that whoa moment. Sometimes that whoa moment happens 3 days after you talk to them.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
You know what I mean? Then you meet them the next week, and it's like, well, last week, this really helped me. And, I'm thinking as the coach, well, I don't know if, this really did it. This session was it. Maybe I'll try this. And it's like, wow, this really happened. And when you start to see the change, I mean, I could speak from my life and what I've seen from the clients I've worked with, but my life has changed.
Yeah, dramatically.
Yeah,
I would say.
I mean, relationships. I mean, you know me. I was dating. Like, how many dates was I going on back then?
You were going on a lot. Yeah. Let's just say that he was going on a lot of dates.
And I met Emily. Things are good. Money. I was a mess.
Yeah.
Money's not a mess.
Yeah.
Like just all those things kind of come into play when you start changing your perspective on things. You know what I mean? And you start communicating with people differently. You communicate with yourself differently, most importantly.
So you find yourself in a place where now things have improved because of the mindset and the coaching and the things that you were willing to face. So now you're seeing that delayed gratification, paying you those dividends back, which is the financial benefits, the relationship benefits, because like we were saying, you were going on quite a bit of dates, quite a bit, to say the least. Well, I want to talk about that really quickly too, if I may. And I know that this is part of this, but online dating is really defeating, to a lot of people too. Online, the swipe right, the thing. And obviously we know this. I mean, like so many people are talking about this, and oftentimes I don't think it's as beneficial because it doesn't speak to who you actually are or could be. It goes back to that like perception. You're looking at somebody's picture and this guy's going to be a blah, or this person's going to be a insert whatever you think there. And I don't think it does them justice. I mean, so I think like that part has got to be huge for you because now it's like I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, okay, so
yeah.
You know me, I was online everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of
online everywhere.
A lot of one and dones.
Yeah, yes.
But with all this stuff I did, my perspective changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people go about online dating wrong.
Okay.
They look for the one. This is going to be the one. And they put this emphasis on, I want this to work tonight. This person, they think they know that person from a picture. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I started approaching it at the end like, wow, tonight I'm going to Bar Taco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get this.
Yeah.
Whether this date works or not, who cares? I'm getting some good food.
I still got tacos.
I'm going to experience this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a connection, it's fine. There was no attachment to the outcome.
Oh, dude, that's so huge.
That's the big thing is we get so attached. I want to meet the one, or they get pressure, but they also feel that attachment to someone they're texting or this, that. And I've done it.
Yeah. I've
fallen on my face for girls that I didn't know as well as I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to when you change your perspective and just enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out tonight with somebody I don't know, and I'm going to learn something new.
Yeah, dude, that's so huge.
You know what I mean?
That's huge.
And I actually, throughout all that, you start to pick up these little things that they do good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a connection. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What did I learn today?
Mm.
That's that level 5 approach. What did I learn from that person? Well, okay. When you don't have the connection, don't force it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But they put expectations on it, and then they go to that level 1. Oh man, this person didn't like me. I must have done this.
Yeah, man.
And they feel like a victim. But it's like they don't know you. You're a picture. You can get upset about it, is how I look at it. You can do whatever you want in life, but I look at it like you can get upset when you meet them. Now you're real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Texting, phone calls, FaceTiming, that you haven't met them yet. When you in the room with them, you've met them. Then if you take it personally, that's your choice to. I chose not to at the end.
Okay.
And I met, happened to meet Emily. First date was Sessions Woods.
It's a great, yeah, I go there all the time.
Here's a girl that wants to take a walk with me in the woods.
Yeah.
Online.
Go with me for a walk in the woods. You're like, absolutely. I'm not an intimidating tall man. No, that's fine.
And I had no expectations.
Okay.
I went in there and I'm like, and she shows up. She's got 2 dogs. She had paint on her yoga pants. You know what I mean? Like she didn't even dress for the occasion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, sitting there in a pair of sweatpants, and we talked. And I thought, but there was no attachment. I was like, when I left, I wasn't like, oh, I got to see her again.
Yes.
It was like, well, maybe I'll talk to her again. That was my attitude.
That's such a big thing.
And that for guys, a lot of dudes over pursue.
Oh, yeah.
So just being in that perspective that let the opportunities arise, let things go where they're going to go, and don't attach to the outcome, it makes it so much easier on everybody in the room.
It really does, but because that's why it wasn't really a touch. I mean, it was a touch on dating, but it was more a touch on the relationships perception and building that of others. Like, I've even gotten like, oh, I saw your YouTube video or I saw this, and, people will come in and be like, wow, I didn't, I thought this was going to go differently, or I thought you were going to be this, or in sometimes good and maybe sometimes bad. So I always try to go into a situation in which I'm going in with an open mind. I remember I said to my wife, I said, hey, we're going to go, where would you like to go on our next vacation? And it was like Italy. It was like Italy, or I wanted to go to Utah because I want to climb. And I thought about it, and it was kind of funny because I've been to Utah, but I haven't been to Utah for the reason why I'm going to go. So the thing is, there's no wrong answer here. I haven't done either of those things.
Yeah.
So the odds of me getting the answer wrong is 0. Just go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, who cares? Like, I like, it's like going out to dinner. You're like, hey, we're going to this place, this place, beautiful dinner. Have you been there? And you ever been with somebody that you're like, no, I've never been there. They're like, oh my God, how do you know it's good? It's like, what are you doing? Let's just go. Who cares?
Yeah.
If we don't like the food, I'll spit it out. What do you want me to do? So it's like, you want to have that perspective, and that's good. And I think that's a really good perspective for dating. And obviously it paid off, for you very well. And I'm glad it did, and like I said, maybe that's kind of part of your glow, part of your aura right now, you're killing it, which is great. So what you're trying to do is if I'm getting this right, it's what you're trying to do is get your clients or get your people that you're coaching to solve issues, things that are in their way, the way they can, that they'll understand for their life, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a facilitator. You're a facilitator of perspective, and your ability to listen and learn alongside with them is going to kind of be there as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that's huge. And I really feel like if anybody can get anything from this, listening to us kind of talk about this, I'm hoping, is that you can understand that I think when people talk in the way that we're talking, oftentimes our words and our conversation, just like anything else, might not be for you. It might not be for something. You said something that a client will call you sometimes a week from now and be like, I get it. It hit. Mm-hmm. Like, I was at this thing and somebody said something. I find that is the biggest thing. A lot of times conversations that you have, even if you let a little bit in, sometimes you can hear it way later, and it can be something that hits. So I hope that this podcast and interaction with two youngish. How old are you? Older than me?
I'm way older than you.
You're way older than me?
Yeah.
He takes care of himself. He doesn't even age. He's like the Highlander. He just doesn't age. Yeah. So the idea is that, you have this perspective, and I really hope that it goes well for you. It seems like it's going really well for you, and I love that, man. And I do like this this different you that I get to see, and it's one of those things that in my career, it is a nice thing to see. So I definitely am proud of you. I think you're doing a great job, and I think you've already helped so many people, and I hope that you continue to do that. And because I think that it's very valuable, extremely valuable, man. It's good stuff. Yeah. Where can they find you? Where can
my website's coachingwithjason.com.
Okay, good. Super. On the nose.
Yeah.
And you said you do usually via, if they're not in this location, you're doing a
Google Meets.
Google Meets. Okay, good. So they can work with you online or in person, or more online.
I haven't really thought about the in-person as much. I don't really have that yet.
Yeah. So they can definitely work with you regardless of their location.
Yeah. I would entertain the idea.
Okay, of course.
But my clients now, it's all Google Meets. I have a little Calendly link. They set up their own appointment. I set my days before, and if they can set their own appointment, so there's no going back and forth.
Okay, they take that, or they take an assessment. You do an assessment with them with the levels that you and I were talking about.
Yes, they have they don't have to take the assessment, but there's an option where you could take the assessment for free. And then we have a sit down. We debrief the assessment, see where you are. You know, and it just gives a good perspective. People like some tangible item in their hand. It's like, I'm seeing things this way.
Yes, I think though, if I had to, please take that opportunity and take the assessment. We do assessment work here, obviously not like that. We do like physical assessment work, and what I've found is you will get better. You will improve faster if we know what we're looking at. If we know what we're dealing with, there's a reason why we have those assessments. There's a reason why we have those things. And I think that it's a huge, for me, take the assessment. I mean, Jay brought an assessment that I want to take. So I'm going to I'm going to take one. He's going to be like, Ben, you're level one. You're level one all the way, 100%. I'm like, shit. No. It doesn't work that way. But yes. So the idea is that definitely take the assessment. So then that way Jay can kind of give you the absolute best outcome that you'd be looking for. And I think that's huge, man. So
the assessment, it measures how you're looking at things through your good day. And then also what happens when you're triggered by a stressor. And that's really the focus, is how you're reacting to situations.
And that's big because you might not have enough of the know-how or the self-awareness to understand that you are reacting in that way. So it gives Jay a better perspective on that, for you. So definitely go check out his website, coachingwithjason.com.
Got it.
Dude, that's sick. That was the first one I got. And the first one. That's awesome. So definitely go check him out. And if you guys could just like or subscribe if you like this. Of course, please, we really appreciate it. And Jay, thanks for doing this, man.
Cool.
I really appreciate it. Good stuff. Good stuff, brother. Fun. Yeah, nice. We're out.